Hello, beautiful beings. The awakening journey can be an up and down journey, path, roller coaster ride, right? And really, we can't get it right or wrong. But there are three mistakes I want to talk about today that, the awakening process can be challenging enough. If you can take these three things out of the equation and do things a little differently, you may have more ease and joy on this awakening journey, and it may become more easy for you to sustain your higher frequency. There's that saying that goes around, it's just like the awakening journey is not all unicorns and rainbows. But what if it could be more often? Because the more we awaken to the light, unique, infinite being that we are, and the more we remember that, the more possibilities we have to live in lightness, unicorns and rainbows. But if we're doing these three things, we're going to keep kind of boom, 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 dropping our vibration, dropping into lower frequencies, lower dimensions. So let me get you through some of these mistakes that I have made that I can still make. And hopefully, through my trial and error, you can take a look at these three things and start changing it up. At the end of these three mistakes that I'm going to give you, I'm also going to give you a free sound healing at the end so that we really get into alignment together. All right, so here we go. Mistake number one, cause and effect. That is a 3D paradigm, cause and effect. Okay, goal. This is what I do. Following another person's flow and what they did. Oh, it worked for them, cause and effect. Oh, it's going to work for me. No, get out of that mindset. As you get into higher frequencies and higher dimensional living, guess what happens? Flow. Flow happens. And just because it's working for them doesn't mean it's your path. So everybody's written their new book and their new program, their new online program, the next best thing, right? Take some pearls, be inspired by their aliveness, be inspired by the flow that came to them. But take what they're saying with a grain of salt. Their cause and effect is not going to be true for you. Some of the things that they say to do may really work. Give it a try, but don't hold anything set in stone. As we raise our vibration, we get into flow state. We get into, oh, here I am. We get into this. So here's two things that I want you to remember. What's right about this that I'm not getting, and all things are working out for me right now. If you can remember those two statements, that if something feels like it's off or negative or not working, you use those two statements. What's right and light about this that I'm not getting, and all things are working out for me. Okay, try those two things. Guys, get out of this mindset of cause and effects. That is mistake number one. Mistake number two is a lot of people on their awakening journey do not use their voice, do not use vocal toning or sound healing. This is a huge mistake. Our voice, if you can talk, you can use this tool. Our voices, that's yours and mine and everybody's voice, is a tool for awareness, empowerment, and awakening and spiritual connection. If you are not using your voice on your awakening journey, you are missing the boat on so much lightness, on the fast lane, basically, to awakening, if there is one. Awakening your voice is a transformational tool. Just by letting out the sounds, you can start to become aware of what frequencies you are focusing on. Is it lack? Is it positivity? Is it fear? Is it grief? You can hear that all in your voice just by toning. Ah. So it really starts increasing your awareness. So if you really want to up level your awareness, your intuition, your witness body, your sense of knowing and trust, do this for sure. Use your voice for toning. And I do have a program actually that teaches that. It's called Vocal Toning for Manifesting Peace. And I'll put that in the links. That'll show you how to use your voice in your awakening journey. All right, so the third mistake that people are making on their awakening journey has to do with their bodies, their symptoms in their bodies. Okay, so one, I just want to do a little precursor to this. Of course, always get checked out. Of course, always go see your doctor before any of this. But a lot of times when we're going through our awakening process, the body is shifting. Our DNA is shifting. Our bodies are in a process of awakening too. The cells have to learn how to take on higher frequencies. And sometimes this brings on something called the ascension symptoms. I'm sure you've heard of it. A lot of times those ascension symptoms feels like we're dying, feels like we're having a heart attack, feels like we're having ear problems, eye problems, feels just awful. Definitely get them checked out. What the mistake is making a solidified story about that physical ascension symptom. What happens there is you solidify it, you put it in a box, and if you think about it 2 times or more, it becomes a real reality. So we can actually be making ourselves sick, physically sick, where eventually it turns into something that the medical field can see. So a lot of times an ascension symptom is an energetic adaptation, okay? And a lot of times, just in the beginning of that sensation, you'll go to the doctor and they will not find anything. Okay, they won't find anything on the test. They won't find anything. Believe me, guys, I have been to the emergency room enough times to be able to tell you this. This is a mistake. Get it checked out, but do not say you have a heart condition. Do not say you have hearing issues. Okay, I'm experiencing some chest heaviness. That's the way to say it. I'm experiencing some sensation or sounds ringing in my ears. I'm experiencing some visual disturbances. Say I'm experiencing rather than solidifying it as I have hearing problems. I have a heart problem. I have, whatever. So the more we define something, and this is kind of law of attraction and awakening 101, the more we define something, the more it becomes real. So this is a tricky topic here because I definitely want you to get checked out and get a doctor and a practitioner to make sure, check it off the list. But a lot of times what people on their awakening journey do is they solidify into a problem and they overthink it. And it actually becomes, they kind of manifest that into their reality. The awakening journey is full of sensation. And they are called ascension symptoms. Sometimes it really does feel like we are sick and dying. Get it checked out. And if you get a doctor say nothing's wrong with you, just learn how to process energy, learn how to expand it out, learn how to slow down, meditate more. Ask your body, what do you need right now? You might need more sleep. You might need a salt bath. You might need more hydration. And even again, goes into mistake number 1, cause and effect. But I drink 8 glasses. This doesn't make sense. Ascension does not make sense. Your body might want a gallon of water. It might want 12 hours of sleep for a whole week, and then you can go back to like 5 or 6 hours or 7 hours. And it's always shifting. That's another reason, number 1 mistake, is you got to get out of cause and effect, because it's always shifting and changing, and your body always has different needs. If there's a high frequency coming in and you're in a high frequency adaptation phase, which it's not consistent. They're phases of awakening and ascension. You're gonna really require different things, more sleep at different times, a different diet at different times. For example, I just started doing some different channeling through frequencies of my voice, and I got the input that I need to stop eating meat for a while to increase my vibration, so that I can really align with these frequencies that want to come through. So I stopped eating meat. I'm detaching from eating meat for a little while, and so we're going to see how that goes. But never declare and define something, okay? Unless you've just got the message over and over and over again. For me, another example is alcohol. 5 or 6 years ago, I had the experience that I just wanted to stop drinking for a year, see what that'd be like. And I did. I went a whole year without drinking any alcohol. And then I started to bring it back in on celebrations or stuff like that. I would have just a shot of tequila. Um, and then I realized that, oh, okay, I'm just gonna let this go. If I feel like drinking, I'll drink. If I, whatever. So I did it that way. And one day I was at this really fun food lab, and we were learning how to make this fun pasta, and they offered me Prosecco. And well, back in the day, I loved Prosecco. I'm like, ooh, Prosecco on tap? I'll have some of that. So I did. And I drank half the glass, and I felt like shit. My vibration lowered, and I was just like, you know what? This is the second time I've drank alcohol, and it just feels awful. And I got all like, numb in my head. I felt awful. And I was just like, you know what? I've had too many experiences that just like it keeps lowering my vibration. So I've kind of made a conclusion that my body just does not want alcohol anymore. So that's kind of a conclusion I made from all these experiences. So maybe, after a while you realize, oh, okay, maybe I am going to conclude this in my life. So let me recap, and then we're going to get into the free sound healing. That's really going to help us align with our higher selves today. All right, so number one mistake is keeping up with cause and effect reality. As we awaken and go into higher dimensions and higher frequencies, cause and effect does not work that way. It's an old paradigm. Number two mistake is people are not using their voice. It's a huge transformational tool. Use your voice for your awakening and to process old wounding and to raise your vibration. And number three, be careful of how you define and conclude these ascension symptoms in your body. Get them checked out, but once you get a clear bill of health, know that perhaps these symptoms aren't medical, but ascension related. And what is your body requiring for you to integrate these? Okay, do I need more sleep, more water, more exercise, more sunshine? Do I need to slow down? Do I need a bath? Do I need to tone more? Do I, whatever it is, okay? So beautiful people, I hope this was helpful. Be sure to watch out for these three mistakes, and you can see tons of information on my channel about how to use your voice. And I'm going to be upping that content as well. All right, so just sit back. Let's all take a nice deep breath together. And as you let out the breath, land in your body, land in your seat. And what we're going to do is we are going to ask to tune into our highest self at source. Through me, for me, as me. Yes. And say yes to it out loud. Yes. And then here come the frequencies to help you align with that source self of you. And may this be carried through your whole day and evening. So after toning, whether you're doing it yourself or listening to someone else, pause. Notice the silence, the texture, the experience of the silence after the toning. There's some really high frequencies there, and you can just wash them over you. May this stay with you. May you choose this frequency throughout your whole day. Beautiful beings, it's been a pleasure. Namaste.